So my point here is that they are once again using a sledgehammer, and they are not doing this at all in a smart way, but mostly this is going to undermine so much of the work that we're doing in education, which is, of course, the heart of the American dream, the heart of the success for so many people across the country, is that we have had the right to education and the ability to move ahead no matter where you live or no matter how much money you have.
And just a couple of months ago, I was out of credit card debt and about to buy my first house and about to give my son the stability that I've craved my entire life. And now I'm unemployed. And now I'm wondering what's going to happen, not just to me, but to my child.
But Donald Trump's action threatens to rip away the opportunities so many of us had and that our children are getting today. Now, for decades, Republicans in Washington have tried to redirect funding for public schools to vouchers for private and religious schools instead, a policy that will overwhelmingly benefit wealthy families at the cost of children in working-class cities and towns across our country. And that doesn't even begin to touch on how important the Department of Education is for children with disabilities, to ensure that they have the opportunity to go to school and get a quality education just like other kids their age.
From May to October of 2024, I worked all but 2 days during one of the nation's most intense fire seasons. I sacrificed sleep, personal time, and holidays to ensure the public had timely, accurate, and life-saving information. I poured everything I had into my job because I knew what was at stake: lives, homes, and the future of the places we love. But my story is not unique. Nationwide, thousands of federal workers who were illegally fired make the same sacrifices to get the job done.
We sat in on a call. 420 U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service employees were invited to the call. And they told us basically that we were all going to be let go, that we did nothing wrong. This was not performance-based. We were required to turn in our uniform, our computers, our government ID cards. In my case, by the end of the day, I had went into the office, turned it all in by 4 p.m., and was then unemployed.
I think it's always important to make sure that we stay strong on the inside. There's always going to be something going on the outside, but we have to keep building up our insides and not let what's going on the outside become stronger than what's going on the inside. Because the spirit, as the Bible says, of a man will sustain his infirmity, but a wounded spirit who can bear.
But if you're retiring next month with a 401k or an IRA or a 403b, you just got screwed. Trillions of dollars of wealth was eliminated. And the president sprung into action. Why? For what purpose? To help his buddies sell cars on the White House lawn. I don't have a preference for electric cars or non-electric cars, I don't care. That's fine. But what a weird thing to spring into action about when everybody's getting kicked in the face economically, except his buddies.
That's what today's vote was all about. And this, on top of the tariffs, on top of the stock market, it's very clear. This is all about Elon Musk and his billionaire buddies getting their tax cuts, getting their tax breaks, and Donald Trump could care less about causing a recession, sinking the economy, and actually hurting the working families that this overall budget plan is actually going to do.
These are the real people being impacted by this administration. An administration that seems to have no regard whatsoever for the thousands of Americans who are literally losing their livelihoods every day as a result. And while they take on these actions, while they dismantle these federal agencies, while they withhold the funds that literally thousands of organizations across the countries depend upon to provide vital services across our communities, while they fire these thousands of federal public servants who have dedicated their life to service, including our veterans and members of the military, they are giving themselves contracts to replace the very programs and create new services that will give them more wealth.
And what it does is it embeds in the bill the authorities for Trump and Musk to continue to slash all of these agencies the way that they're slashing it. And Chip Roy said that out loud. Several Republicans have said this essentially gives us the control we've been seeking, because the courts have been stopping some of this because they're taking over congressional appropriation and authority.
Right. People wanted to hear from a member of Congress, and if Derek Van Orden's not going to listen to his constituents, I felt at least I could lend an ear and make sure we're talking about what Derek's voting on. He's voting to cut Medicaid. That's 1 out of 3 kids in Wisconsin, 55% of seniors in nursing homes.
But every dollar they hand out to billionaires is $1 taken away from Medicaid and SNAP and health care and education and housing and veterans health care who have earned it. Social Security, Alzheimer's research, all are going to be slashed. Billionaires get enough support off the backs of Americans already. We need to make sure we fight so everyone else gets it.
This hearing may lead to housing reform that lowers the prices and creates more capacity. I want to thank my good friend, Mayor Eric Johnson, for being a part of this hearing today. Powerful testimony. Thank you so much.
I want to clarify something. Right now, I know there's Democrats holding a town hall meeting, and I want you to hear the truth, Northeast Florida. I am on a mission to preserve, not cut, preserve Social Security. I'm on a mission to preserve Medicare. We can make those more efficient without interrupting benefits. So you're hearing it from me.
He said recently that this is just a small disturbance. And maybe for billionaire friends of his like Elon Musk, a little bit of a rise in prices is a small disturbance. But bluntly, the markets don't like it, consumers don't like it, and we're already seeing predictions that there will be shrinking growth and a recession this year.